Hey everyone, we're going to do something a little special this week. We're going to make this super short, super dense, super helpful. We're going to give you a holiday emergency toolkit with a lot of the tips and strategies. I said tips twice, but that's how useful it's going to be for getting through the holidays with excited kids, maybe tense relationships. So we want to give you 5 tips that you can use. Watch this when you're hiding in a closet or driving to wherever you got to go. Here's tip number 1. If you can, try to be outside for at least a little part of your holiday, whether it's planning an outing with kids, with family members, whether it's planning the dinner outside. Get outside a little bit, because just physically being out of a building can make you feel less trapped, less constrained, a little less stir crazy, and just give you a fresh restart. So that's tip number 1.
Tip number 2. Let's try focusing on the positive. You can do this with the children in your life and with the adults in your life. If you're having a hard time, let's label and continue the positive behaviors we want to see. So if you have an adult who wants to do something that you're not okay with, let's focus on the positive and say, oh, I really like what's going on right now. Let's keep doing that. Same with a kid. Let's focus on those positive behaviors where you see something really great going on. Give the attention for that behavior, and the misbehaving will probably disappear.
Tip number 3, make some agreements with yourself ahead of time. This goes for what you want to be doing and how you feel about things, as well as what you want for your children and your family. So I want you to think about ahead of time what you will do during this holiday, what you're willing to do and might offer to do, and what you won't do. Establish those beforehand, have them as boundaries, and be ready to honor them, because you've given yourself that time to come to agreement with yourself. And that's the most important.
Tip number 4, choose your timing and what you want to tackle. Sometimes we have those big feelings come up, or we have things that happen that we're not okay with, and we can choose to tackle those when we see people, or we can push them aside for a little bit and choose to come back to it. So if you're feeling like something has happened right before the holidays and you're not wanting to dive into that right now, that's okay. That's your choice. You can hold it, save it for later, have a great time with the holidays, and then talk to that person later on and say, hey, actually, we need to talk. Now is appropriate time for this. Let's work on this together. So just make sure you take a breath and remember that you can save it for later. If you can't, well, then we can tackle that differently. But a lot of things that come up, there's things we can save for later.
Tip number 5, when you've done all these other things, when you're just stressed, when you're not able to get something out of your head, it's just staying there and you don't want it to, you want to get back into a good mood, start singing and dancing. Sounds silly, but it works. So whether it's one of your favorite pump up songs and you need to go do it in a private room with headphones on and no one else is around you, or if it's singing, if you're happy and you know it, with your kid, or another special holiday song that you love and makes them smile, go for it. You will have more endorphins. You'll feel better. Nothing wrong with a little bit of song and dance. And you can't think about other things when you're trying to remember all the words to Up on the Housetop or other silly songs.
It's a great redirect for our minds as well.
Yep. So that's it. Those are some of our quick little emergency tips. We hope you have a wonderful holiday season. If you're driving, traveling, be safe. If you're going to be with other people, be emotionally safe. Take care of yourself and your family. You've got this. Bye, everyone.